You arrive with a hammer in hand, ready to spend a week building a school or painting an orphanage. It feels like a solution. But this enthusiasm often masks a deeper problem. Rushing into an unfamiliar environment to solve visible issues can leave behind a trail of quiet, long-term damage. If we provide resources to a community and the crisis persists, it suggests our definition of the problem is too shallow. Handing out cash or materials only works if the problem is a simple lack of inventory. Look at the way a person becomes isolated from their neighbors, alienated from their own potential, and cut off from their environment. When these essential social and spiritual connections snap, a person enters a state of poverty that no amount of material aid can reach. Diagnosing a relational crisis as a resource shortage leads to the wrong treatment. You end up trying to build your way out of a problem that requires a completely different kind of presence. Short-term fixes often create a cycle that looks like progress but functions like a trap. When an outsider does the work for a community, the local residents lose the agency to do it for themselves. This builds a standard of dependency on foreign intervention. This dynamic sidelines the local leaders who live in the community year-round. It sends a silent message that their knowledge and presence aren't enough to solve their own problems. You are stepping into work that began long before you arrived and will continue long after you leave. Systemic change takes years. You have 7 days. This trip functions as a posture test, a live evaluation of whether you can operate in a way that supports the mission without disrupting it. Adopting the right posture starts with a single rule. Never do for others what they can do for themselves. You are moving away from the role of the director or the expert. There is no need to take control of a situation just to prove your efficiency or leave a mark. Your focus shifts to the local leaders. You are there to watch how they work, listen to their needs, and offer the specific support they request. True service requires the discipline to stay in the background, ensuring the focus remains on the people who will be there when you are gone. Because your job is to support rather than act, your primary responsibility is to observe. Every street and market has a baseline, a natural rhythm of how people move, gather, and speak. This is the heartbeat of the community. Many travelers move through these spaces distracted by their own goals, completely unaware of this rhythm. That lack of awareness makes them a target for problems and a disruption to the locals. Understanding what is normal for your hosts is the only way to move safely and respectfully through their world. Once you know the baseline, you will recognize the anomaly, the moment something breaks the established pattern. An anomaly is simply information. It's a signal that the environment has changed, and that change requires your attention. Notice someone watching with unusual intensity. See frantic movement in calm settings. These are details most people miss. When you identify an anomaly, you do not investigate it or try to fix it. You are a guest, not a detective. Simply recognize the change and move closer to your group. Let your local leadership decide how to respond to the shift in the environment. Maintaining the posture of a guest requires you to accept specific restrictions on your daily behavior. You stay with your team. Independent movement is prohibited, as it creates unnecessary risks for you and your hosts. You avoid giving money or gifts directly to individuals. Bypassing local leadership in this way creates the very dependency we are trying to avoid. You keep your profile low. Flashy clothing, expensive gear, and loud behavior draw the wrong kind of attention and widen the gap between you and the community. These rules exist because your conduct reflects on the entire mission. One person's lack of discipline can damage relationships that local leaders spent years building. The local leaders understand the history and the culture of this place in a way you never will. They see the nuances you are guaranteed to miss. You will see things that look inefficient or confusing. Defer to their judgment anyway. You lack the full context to accurately critique their methods. Operating under their authority provides a layer of safety. It ensures your efforts align with the long-term goals of the people who actually live there. In an emergency, your only task is to follow protocol. If you are separated or injured, stop moving and contact your leader immediately. Do not attempt to manage the crisis yourself. A moment of reflection. A humble, observant presence builds trust that lasts long after a project has ended. That discipline is what ultimately strengthens the mission and proves you are there to serve.